Hey, what's going on? In the last video, I discussed why I preferred building ARs. In this video, I'm going to tell you why my opinion has changed. Coming up. So just to recap on the last video, this is what's left of my 16-inch Smith & Wesson MMP-15. The only part that is original to the purchase from a complete rifle is the lower receiver. That is it. I paid 1,200 taquitos for that rifle, and then the only thing that is left is the lower receiver. 1,200 taquitos is a lot to pay for a lower receiver. Even a nice upper and lower receiver set doesn't run that much. So for the longest time, my opinion was I'd rather build ARs than to buy something off from the shelf and just change out a bunch of parts. Well, that opinion has changed. Now, my opinion has changed because of two AR-15 variants that I recently discovered at my local gun store, Tombstone Tactical. I don't know if I'm allowed to mention them because YouTube's retarded, but that's where I was, and they are not a sponsor. They're not sponsoring this channel. They are not paying me. I don't get a dime for mentioning them, but that's where I go. So the first one that the guy at the counter showed me was the Vector VK-1. And this is a piston-driven rifle, and if you saw the last video, I prefer piston over DI all day, every day. I don't like direct impingement. I am not a fan. I like piston. That is me. I'm allowed to have my own opinion. The Vector VK-1 is a short stroke piston, and it lacks an adjustable gas block, unlike so many other piston operated platforms, because it's got a proprietary system where it's basically got holes drilled into it. It's got 6 holes, so the first 3 allow the operation of the piston to move the carrier. Once it has receives enough gas to move the piston, that'll move the carrier. The next 3 holes will dump any extra gas. So it doesn't require any adjusting, so that you could put a flow-through can on it, you could put a high back pressure can on it, and it doesn't matter. They have a lot of other patents in it, and I think they have like 6 or 7 or something like that patents in their particular rifle. One of the things that caught my eye on the side of the receiver was the bolt release. The bolt release looks like the bolt release that I don't like. I don't like having a bolt release on the right side of the gun when it's just a bolt release. The reason for that is because you insert the magazine, your hand's right here, and it's easy to come up here and hit the ping pong paddle to release the bolt. What I prefer, if you're just going to have one, I would much rather have a bolt catch, because doing one of these things where you're having to take your hands off the controls to come over here and do one of these and pull the charging handle back to lock the bolt back, if you have a serious enough malfunction where you have to do that, because it happens. People are like, you never have to do that. No, it happens. It happens all the time. I prefer having something that I don't have to take my hand off from the fire control, so I can just pull the charging handle back and push up on the PDQ and lock the bolt back. So when I saw the lower receiver, I thought that that's what it was. But it's got a 2-stage switch in there, so when you push in part way, it releases the bolt. But if you push in further and you charge it and you bring the bolt back, it will lock the bolt to the rear. That's pretty cool. I liked that. They are thinking outside the box, and I really appreciate that. All the other parts on the gun, it comes with a K2 grip. It comes with an SL stock, which like I usually run the SLKs, but the SL stock, I don't mind that. I wouldn't change it out. The K2 grip, definitely not going to change that out, because that's my go-to grip. It's got Talon safety in it, 45-degree short throw safety. It's got Raptor charging handle. It's got Hyperfire trigger in it, which is one of the triggers that I use more often in my builds. Ambi magazine release, ambi bolt catch and bolt release. It's got all of the parts that I would change out. It's already got them, so I wouldn't have to change anything. So that's the first rifle that I've ever seen where I wouldn't change a thing on it. I'd add stuff to it, but I wouldn't change anything on it. The second one that I saw was the PWS MK116 Mod 2. I have the picture of it right here. I will show you what I'm looking at. I am just trying to remind myself. This is the other rifle that I wouldn't change anything out on because it's already set up in a way that I would want. It's already got ambi safeties. Granted, it doesn't have the short throw safety in it, but it does still look like it's got the Talon safety. It's got Raptor charging handle. It's got, I don't know the trigger, but I think it's pretty decent trigger in it. It's got ambi bolt catch, bolt release, ambi magazine release, and it's got BCM furniture on it, which is what I used to go with before I kind of switched to the K2, but I don't hate it and I wouldn't switch it out. It's got the Mod Zero grip, which is a steeper grip angle. It's got BCM stock, and this one is long stroke gas piston, so kind of like the operations of an AK. It's got a long stroke where the piston is attached to the carrier and moves back with the carrier. That is the other rifle where I wouldn't change anything out on it. But this was not meant to be a long video. I just wanted to bring that newer brand to your attention. PWS has been on the market for a while, but Vector is one that is new to me. It's pronounced Vector from what I hear the people that work there pronouncing it, but it's VKTR. They have a really neat looking rifle. They have 13.7 pin and welds. They have two different muzzle devices to choose from. I would go with the Flux muzzle device because I want the flow through suppressor, and I don't like the chemo mount. I can't stand it. It is heavier than shit, and I don't understand why it's so popular because it's heavier than shit, but I guess it's a really good lockup, whatever. I would go with the Huxworks muzzle device. They also have a 16-inch that's not pin and welded, so you can put whatever on there. It's got an A2 flash hider. They also have the 10.5 pistols, or you can also get them in just the uppers and do the rest yourself. I think the upper also comes with a buffer. And then you put your own lower on it. I'm not being paid by Vector. I'm not being paid by Tombstone Tactical. Nobody pays me except YouTube, kind of, which who knows how much longer that's going to last with me doing gun videos. Definitely check them out. There's several videos showing how the system works, and they are really neat looking. A lot of people are saying they're like the flattest shooting rifles that they've ever shot. I've never shot one, so I don't know. I can't comment on that. But I definitely want one. I wouldn't mind getting a PWS. So many things on the list, so little money. Everything in life comes down to time and money. If you have the time, you don't have the money. If you have the money, you don't have the time. Lately, I've had the time and don't have the money. So what do you think? Is the Vector something that you want to try out? Is that something that interests you? Or do you want to stay away from something that has a bunch of proprietary parts on it? I think it's pretty cool. I definitely want one. That's it for this video, and we'll catch you on the next project. See ya.